Imagine yourself preparing to give an important presentation at work. Your palms are sweaty, your heart is racing, and your mind is flooded with what-ifs. This isn't just another day at the office. It's a moment where your professional credibility is on the line. This kind of situation, so common in our fast-paced, high-stakes modern life, often evokes a deep sense of anxiety. And many would say that this feeling is debilitating, overpowering, and insidious. But what if I told you that this very anxiety could actually be the key to unlocking your greatest potential? In this video, we're going to explore the idea that anxiety, rather than being an obstacle, can be a powerful ally in achieving excellence and personal fulfillment. Drawing upon the wisdom of philosophers like Soren Kierkegaard, Friedrich Nietzsche, Jean-Paul Sartre, Martin Heidegger, and Albert Camus, we'll delve into the role of anxiety as a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. Each of these thinkers, in their unique way, shed light on how our most challenging emotional experiences can propel you towards greater heights. Through examining the psychological nuances of anxiety and offering practical strategies, this video aims to transform your perspective on this often misunderstood emotion. Prepare to see anxiety not as a barrier to overcome, but as a powerful tool in carving a path to personal and professional greatness. But to understand how anxiety can be a conduit to greatness, we first need to delve into what anxiety is from a psychological standpoint. Psychologically, anxiety is a natural and common emotional response to perceived threats or significant stressors. It's characterized by feelings of tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes like increased blood pressure. While typically viewed as negative, this state of heightened alertness was crucial for our ancestors' survival, preparing them to face threats and uncertainties. So rest assured, you are not alone. After all, no one is free from feeling anxiety. Modern psychological research reveals that anxiety isn't just a one-dimensional, negative experience. Instead, it has a dual nature. On one side, it can be debilitating and overwhelming, interfering with our daily functioning. On the other, it can be a motivating force, driving us to confront challenges and pushing us to adapt and overcome obstacles. This eustress aspect of anxiety can enhance performance, sharpen focus, and foster problem-solving abilities. Today's fast-paced world presents a constant stream of potential stressors, from job interviews to public speaking, exacerbating our anxiety levels. However, it is precisely in these high-pressure situations that the potential for greatness emerges. When channeled effectively, the energy and alertness produced by anxiety can lead to heightened creativity, improved performance, and decisive action. It means that you can learn from anxiety. One key aspect of harnessing anxiety for personal growth is learning to interpret its signals. Instead of viewing anxiety as a sign of impending doom, we can see it as a message about areas in our life that need attention or change. This shift in perception can empower us to approach anxiety-inducing situations not with fear, but with a sense of purpose and opportunity. And it's not a recent idea that thinkers and philosophers view anxiety as something beneficial. Let's explore how renowned philosophers have tackled the concept of anxiety and, most important, how their insights can help you turn your anxieties into stepping stones for greatness. The first one is Soren Kierkegaard's existential anxiety. Danish philosopher Soren Kierkegaard is often credited with being one of the first to conceptualize existential anxiety or angst. He viewed it as an inevitable part of the human condition, arising from our awareness of freedom, choice, and responsibility. Kierkegaard believed that by confronting and embracing this angst, individuals could attain a higher level of self-awareness and authenticity. Friedrich Nietzsche talks about the overcoming of anxiety. Nietzsche's philosophy includes the idea of amor fati, or love of one's fate, which involves embracing every aspect of life, including its challenges and anxieties. He believed that facing and overcoming difficulties, including personal anxieties, was essential to the process of self-creation and achieving greatness. For Jean-Paul Sartre, anxiety was a byproduct of our freedom to choose and define our essence through our actions. He posited that anxiety arises when we confront the vast possibilities of choice, realizing the weight of our freedom. You see, it's not easy to make choices when you have so much options. Take, for example, the many side hustles you could have to make money. It's not easy to know what path would be the best fit for you. But this realization, while unsettling, is also what allows for genuine personal growth and self-definition. There's the Martin Heidegger's concept of being toward death. Heidegger saw anxiety as a fundamental part of being human. He introduced the concept of being toward death, which highlighted anxiety as a response to our awareness of mortality. This realization pushes individuals to live more authentically and purposefully. And finally, Albert Camus and the absurdity of life. Camus argued that the recognition of life's inherent absurdity, its lack of inherent meaning, causes anxiety. However, he believed that by embracing this absurdity, individuals could live more fully, making their own meanings and values in a seemingly indifferent universe. Each of these philosophers offers a unique lens through which you can view anxiety not as an impediment, but as a catalyst for personal development and achieving a greater sense of self. Their insights provide a deeper understanding of why anxiety, a seemingly negative emotion, can in fact be a powerful force in driving you towards self-realization and greatness. So now, we will explore how you can apply these philosophical insights in 5 ways to harness the power of anxiety in your daily lives. Number 1. Reframing your perspective. It all starts with how you view anxiety. Instead of seeing it as an enemy, what if you began to look at it as a signpost, pointing us towards areas of our life that require your attention and care? This shift in perspective can make a world of difference. It means you start working with your anxiety, not against it. Number 2. Learning the language of anxiety. Our anxieties often have a lot to say about what matters to us. By tuning in and listening, rather than shutting it down, you might discover underlying passions, unresolved conflicts, or even unexplored potentials. It's like getting to know a part of yourself that's been quietly trying to get your attention, or even to know what is most important for you. Consider Sarah, a project manager in a busy corporate firm. Lately, she's been feeling unusually anxious every Sunday evening, dreading the upcoming work week. This anxiety could easily be dismissed as typical work stress. However, upon reflecting deeper, Sarah realizes that her anxiety spikes when thinking about her routine tasks, which she finds mundane and unfulfilling. In contrast, she notices a surge of excitement and energy when involved in creative brainstorming sessions or when she's mentoring junior team members. This observation leads her to a revelation. Her true passion lies not in managing projects, but in creative problem-solving and coaching others. Number 3. Small steps for big changes. Harnessing anxiety doesn't mean making monumental changes overnight. It's about taking small, manageable steps. For instance, if public speaking makes you anxious, start by speaking up more in meetings or joining a group like Toastmasters. Gradually, your comfort zone expands, and what once seemed daunting becomes more manageable. All OS this, thanks to the anxiety that you felt before. Number 4. Acceptance and solution. When you accept and surrender to the fact that anxiety can destroy you, you look for solutions to prevent your life from collapsing. And the best, most natural, and affordable solution I have found for this is mindfulness. Imagine Jake, a software developer, who faces constant deadlines and high expectations at work. He often finds himself overwhelmed with anxiety, especially when tackling complex coding problems or facing tight deadlines. This anxiety sometimes leads him to overreact, either by working excessively long hours or snapping at his colleagues. Jake decides to try mindfulness meditation as a way to manage his anxiety. Every morning, before starting his workday, he spends 15 minutes in a quiet space, focusing on his breath and observing his thoughts. During these sessions, Jake notices his anxious thoughts about upcoming projects and deadlines. However, instead of getting caught up in these thoughts, he learns to acknowledge them and let them pass, like clouds moving across the sky. This practice begins to change how Jake reacts to stress at work. When a demanding project comes up, he feels the familiar surge of anxiety, but instead of immediately diving into a frenzy of work or panicking, he takes a moment to breathe and assess the situation calmly. This new approach allows him to prioritize tasks more effectively, communicate better with his team, and work in a more balanced and productive manner. Mindfulness doesn't eliminate Jake's anxiety, but it gives him a way to observe it without letting it control his actions. He learns to accept his anxious feelings as natural responses to stress, not signals of impending failure, allowing him to respond to challenging situations with more clarity and composure. Number 5. Embrace the learning curve. Remember, using anxiety as a tool for growth is a learning process. There will be days when it feels overwhelming, and that's okay. The key is to keep moving forward every day, even if it's a little bit a day. Try to learn from each experience and being patient with yourself. Being average for an above-average time is the key to succeed. By approaching anxiety in these ways, you start to harness its energy for positive change. It becomes less about eliminating anxiety, which, let's face it, is pretty much impossible, and more about learning to ride its waves towards personal growth and achievement. Always remember the horse's tale. Once upon a time, a horse fell into a deep hole and couldn't get out, no matter how hard it tried. The horse's owner realized it was impossible to rescue the animal and decided to bury it alive to prevent it from suffering. He began to shovel dirt into the hole to cover the horse. However, with every shovel of dirt that fell on its back, the horse would shake it off and step up. Gradually, as more dirt was thrown in, the horse kept shaking it off and stepping up. Eventually, after much dirt and effort, the horse was able to reach the top of the hole and escape from it. As Kierkegaard said, anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. This dizziness, this sense of being overwhelmed by life's possibilities, is not just a challenge to be overcome, but also a sign of the incredible freedom and potential each of us possesses. By embracing your anxiety, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities and step closer to realizing your own version of greatness.